Welcome. Today is day 5 of Unit 3. We're reviewing with our supply shifters. And we also took a key terms quiz. And after that quiz, we worked with our supply shifters. So that's what I'm going to go over with you right now in this video. I would encourage you to check your work if you did this in class. Otherwise, take a look at the scenario, pause the video before I explain it. All right, number 1. Again, pause the video and do this yourself if you haven't had a chance yet. Otherwise, follow along and check your work. 1913, Henry Ford developed the assembly line for the production of Model T automobiles. This enabled Ford Motor Company to produce vehicles more efficiently. Draw what happened to the market for Model T automobiles. Well, we start off with our price and quantity on our axes. We can label our supply curve S1. And with this change in technology, we're going to have a supply shift to the right, so supply increase, and the reason is because of technology. So that's number 1. Number 2, you are a wheat farmer. The price of wheat will become higher in July and August. Draw what happens to the market for wheat right now at the end of March. So we label and draw our curve, and if I know the price is going to be higher in a few months, I'm going to wait to sell my wheat then, so that means the supply will decrease right now, and label that S2, and the change is because of producer expectations. We expect the price to be higher in the future, therefore we're going to wait and decrease our supply right now so that we can sell it later. That's number 2. Number 3. In fall 2017, Hurricane Harvey devastated the Gulf Coast and caused losses of 50 to 70% of Florida's citrus crops, especially oranges. Draw what happened to the market for oranges. So we draw our graph, and because of this natural disaster, we're going to have a supply shift to the left, a decrease, and the reason again is a natural disaster. And that's number 3. Number 4. When the internet took off in the late 1990s, thousands of entrepreneurs thought they could make lots of money by starting online businesses. Many succeeded, many failed. This became known as the dot-com crash. Draw what happened to the market for online businesses at the end of this dot-com crash. Well, label. And since we're looking at the end of this dot-com crash, the end of the dot-com crash, we're going to have fewer businesses online at that time. Therefore, it's a supply decrease, and the reason is because of our number of producers. We have fewer online businesses as a result of this dot-com crash. So that's number 4. Number 5, corn prices decreased by 50%. Corn is used to make ethanol fuel, a type of gas you pump in your car. Draw what happens to the market for ethanol fuel. So we draw our graph. And if corn prices go down, that means I can make more. So I'm going to have a supply shift to the right, label that S2, and the reason is because of a change in the cost of inputs. Corn is an input, also known as a resource or a factor of production that we use to make fuel. And if the price goes down, it's cheaper, so we can make more. That's number 5. Number 6, the state of Minnesota charges gasoline manufacturers a certain amount of tax. That tax is paid by the producers. And so draw what happens to the market supply for gasoline when Minnesota decreases the amount it charges gasoline manufacturers. So we would draw our graph. And if the state of Minnesota decreases the amount it charges gasoline manufacturers, we're going to have, it's going to be cheaper to make gas, so we're going to have a supply increase. It's S1, S2, because now manufacturers can produce more fuel. Taxes, typically if you apply a tax, it's going to create a supply decrease because it's more expensive to create. But in this case, there's already a tax. That tax is being lessened, and therefore it's now cheaper to produce goods than it was previously, so we can make more gas, and that creates a supply shift to the right. And the last one, number 7, the price of coffee beans decreases to $1.17 per bushel. Drought happens to the market for coffee beans. So we're looking at coffee beans and coffee beans. Therefore, the only thing that's changing is price. And so we can draw our supply curve, S1. We have P1 and quantity 1. And then if price goes down, we'll draw our P2 below our P1, quantity 2. And we're going to have movement down the supply curve, which is a quantity supply decrease. So there you go. That's the activities that we did in class today. For your homework, practice again with the quiz on Schoology. It's all about supply, and we'll do more practice tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions.